The origins of stock cars are like taking a trip back in time to when these machines were just regular cars plucked right off the showroom floor or even salvaged from someone's driveway or a scrapyard, then thrust onto the racetrack. The country's top drivers would prep their vehicles for the grueling 160-mile runs on the beach and through rough roads. But beneath the surface of what seemed like just a stock car lies a rich evolution of how these racing beasts came to be. In the early days, it was all about trial and error, or as some might call it, trial by air. Drivers pushed their cars to the limit, doing everything they could to eke out that extra bit of speed. It's like looking into the past to understand the present, and in NASCAR, change is inevitable. Enter the next-gen car, the first true race car in NASCAR's history. It's a complete departure from the past, a fresh start after 70 years of tradition. NASCAR, which stands for the National Association for Stock Car Automobile Racing, began with drivers competing in cars straight off the dealership lot, driven to the local track, raced, and then driven back home. These were true stock cars in the original sense of the term. Drivers would tape up their headlights, drive to the track on a Saturday night, race their hearts out, and then drive the same car back home after the race.
Started out as completely stock. Take the muffler off and the hubcaps off. That was what you did.
It started with completely stocked cars, with modifications as simple as removing the muffler or the hubcaps. Generation 1 was all about the thrill of the race. If there weren't enough cars for the field, they'd rent a couple, slap some numbers on them, and hit the track. We've all seen those old photos of drivers sporting leather helmets and t-shirts, but there was a time when even wearing a helmet was recommended in NASCAR. Tim Flock even had a monkey-riding shotgun in his car in those early days. But despite the simplicity, these cars could still haul. Tim Flock set the pace with a blistering 130 miles per hour, not too shabby for a stock car straight off the lot. And then there were the true purists, who would go as far as buying the raw body parts from the dealership, beating them into shape, and racing with what was essentially a true stock car. But as the years went by, the sport evolved. The punishing 40 laps on the track could tear the engine out of any car, so drivers had to pace themselves, knowing that finishing was the key to winning. As tracks like the new Daytona International Speedway were designed for cars that hadn't even been built yet, NASCAR entered a new era where cars became bigger and faster, and the engine builders ruled the racetracks. But as the sport grew, so did the need for innovation. Teams realized they needed cars that could keep up with the evolving demands of racing. It was a major shift from relying solely on stock cars to building custom components tailored for performance. The crew chiefs of that era were often master engine builders, fine-tuning every aspect of the engine to squeeze out every last drop of power. Suddenly, everything seemed to pick up speed. Cars drove better, races got more intense, and interest in the sport soared. Richard Petty racked up win after win, earning himself a cool $17,000 and solidifying his status as the king of the road. And who could forget the iconic drivers of that era? David Pearson, Bobby Allison, Darrell Waltrip, their names synonymous with speed and victory. As we transitioned into Generation 2, horsepower continued to reign supreme, but change was on the horizon. A new breed of stock car was on its way, poised to dethrone the reigning king. With a new wheelbase size and a focus on aerodynamics, Generation 3 was about to shake things up in the world of NASCAR. In the evolution of NASCAR race cars, it's clear that beneath those stock car exteriors lies the heart of a true race car. We witnessed a significant shift in components, with many teams opting for aftermarket or specialty-built parts to enhance performance. Aerodynamics became a crucial factor, especially on tracks like Daytona and Talladega, where speed was paramount. Daytona and Talladega presented a different challenge altogether, requiring a specialized breed of cars. It was here that legends like Earnhardt thrived, with his iconic black number 3 striking fear into the hearts of his competitors. The partnership between Earnhardt and his team was legendary, a bond that translated into countless victories on the track. Earnhardt wasn't just a driver, he was a symbol of greatness, a man revered by fans and feared by opponents. His iconic paint scheme, with its sleek black exterior, epitomized his larger-than-life persona. It was a statement before the race even began, a symbol of dominance that sent shivers down the spine of his rivals. And let's not forget the paint schemes and designs that adorned these cars. From confetti and champagne celebrations to bold and vibrant colors, each design told a story. As cars became faster and risks increased, safety innovations became paramount. The Gen 4 car saw the likes of Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, and Dale Earnhardt Sr. pushing the limits of speed and performance, all while ushering in a new era of safety in NASCAR. The loss of Dale Earnhardt Sr. was a devastating blow to the NASCAR community, but out of tragedy came a renewed commitment to safety. His passing catalyzed change, prompting the industry to prioritize the well-being of its drivers like never before. One of the most significant advancements was the development of roof flaps, designed to prevent cars from becoming airborne during crashes. These simple yet ingenious devices have saved countless lives by keeping vehicles grounded and reducing the risk of serious injury. But the pursuit of safety in NASCAR didn't stop there. Safer barriers were installed at racetracks, providing an additional layer of protection for drivers in the event of a collision. With each passing year, NASCAR continued to refine its safety protocols, incorporating feedback from drivers and teams to ensure that every possible precaution was taken. While the sport will always carry inherent risks, the commitment to safety has never been stronger. NASCAR's safety evolution has become nothing short of a revolution, transforming the sport and ensuring that drivers can compete on the track with confidence, knowing that their safety is the top priority. But even with these advancements, one thing remains clear: racing will always be a dangerous sport. It's a reality that every driver understands and accepts as they strap into their cars and prepare to push the limits of speed and performance. Yet thanks to the tireless efforts of NASCAR and its partners, drivers can compete with peace of mind, knowing that they're in good hands, driving cars that are safer than ever before. But what defines NASCAR is its relentless pursuit of improvement. With each passing generation of cars, the goal has always been the same: to make the sport safer and more exciting for everyone involved. While racing will always carry inherent risks, NASCAR has made significant strides in minimizing those risks and maximizing the safety of its drivers. But safety isn't the only consideration. NASCAR is also focused on enhancing the quality of racing, ensuring that fans are treated to thrilling competitions week in and week out. The evolution of NASCAR's cars reflects this dual commitment to safety and excitement. The introduction of the Car of Tomorrow, CART, marked a significant milestone in NASCAR's history. While it was met with mixed reviews from drivers and teams, it represented a bold step forward in the quest for safer, more competitive racing. However, as with any innovation, there were lessons to be learned, and NASCAR continued to refine its approach. As the sport looks ahead to the future, there's a renewed sense of optimism surrounding the next generation of cars. With advancements in technology and a focus on cost containment, NASCAR is poised to usher in a new era of racing that promises to be both thrilling and safe. Ultimately, NASCAR's evolution is driven by a desire to constantly improve and innovate. Whether it's developing new safety features or refining the rules to enhance competition, NASCAR is committed to pushing the boundaries of what's possible in motorsports. The Gen 5 cars, though, set us up with some valuable knowledge for the next generation. They had a more standard dimension chassis underneath, which was a step in the right direction. We even tried out rear wings instead of spoilers for a bit, but fans weren't too keen on them. People just couldn't quite connect with what the car was doing. But to NASCAR's credit, the Gen 5 cars did make significant strides in driver safety. As time went on, the cars evolved, getting better and better. By the 2010s, winning in NASCAR meant spending big bucks. Every component became custom-made, all in the pursuit of that slightest edge over the competition. Then came Gen 6, and boy, was it a game-changer. This is when the OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, stepped up their game. They wanted to be involved in the development process, and you could see their influence on the car's design and styling. With Gen 6, we could start to play around with aerodynamics, and the fans loved it. But perhaps the most significant change we've seen over the generations of NASCAR cars is how we build them. We've gone from crews working tirelessly in the shop, fabricating and assembling parts, to a more engineering-focused approach. Every piece of the race car is meticulously designed and crafted for optimal performance. It's been a major transition, but it's all been in the name of making NASCAR racing safer, more exciting, and more competitive than ever before. And as we look ahead to the future of NASCAR, one thing's for sure: the evolution of the cars will continue, driving the sport forward into new and exciting territory. Thanks for watching. Please like the video, press the subscribe button, and also drop your thoughts in the comment section.